So Chaburah, here we're at another beautiful Shishi, preparing for Shabbos together. This moment that we're in is, it's got both factors. Number one, Parshas Pinchas is the first Shabbos in the Hamivtar in the 3 weeks. This is after Shavuos B'Tammuz, we're in the days of mourning, in what we call the 3 weeks of the Haftarahs of Pranusa, where the Heilige Navi, the Holy Prophet, are warning us and letting us know it's that we, as we said earlier, we shape in and we shape out. So it's a time that everyone has to mamish be misbeinen in the deeps of what each individual is doing in order to bring Geula, in order to bring Mashiach. That's one side. Sad times. Saddest times in the history of the Jewish calendar, these 3 weeks. On the other hand, we find from the Talmid Baal Shem Tov that these are the weeks that it's the easiest to cling to Hashem. As you know, the famous the famous teaching from the holy Avodah Yisrael, the Kosher Magid, that he brings from the holy Magid of Mizrich, Kol Roid Fel Hisigua, what it says in Eicha, Kol Roid Fyutke, whoever pursues Hashem in these 3 weeks, Hisigua Bein Amtzarim, he can actually grasp onto and become closest to Hashem now. And that is simply, as we discussed earlier, so we'll just sum it up and go a little deeper. Because the Shechina finds himself in Galus, it's Shechina, it's Melech Basada, King is out there at everybody's level. Therefore, it gives everybody a chance to really get close to Hashem. Furthermore, and even deeper and greater, these weeks, hidden behind all this darkness is the greatest light, the light of the Geula. Because Be'ez Hashem, we really hope and pray it'll be so soon. These days are going to be big days of Yom Tov, and the light is there already. Like I explained earlier, imagine you go to a show, and there's a big, very heavy, dark curtain, and everyone's looking at that, so muggy and boring. But all of a sudden, as it comes 8 p.m., the opening of the show, and you see the curtains going up and up, you see behind is such a great show, lighting and music and a festival and everything, it's Giv'at. So that's really all behind this big darkness. So our job is to try to, very badly, uncover all this the light that's really being covered by this darkness, and it's here. So the Heilige Sfarim tell us, when is it that we could take a little sneak peek preview behind in the curtain? The Shabbosim of Bein Hamivtar. The Shabbosim in these 3 weeks, these 3 Shabboses of Pinchas, Matas Maseh next week, and Vayikra, and Devarim, which is Chazoim. These Shabbosim, we know that Shabbos is Me'ein Olam Haba. Shabbos, the Heilige Tfer Shlomo, the Heilige Radomsker Rebbe teaches us, the lower the Shechina comes down during these times, Shabbos, it goes back up. So therefore, the lower it came down, Shabbos, when it goes up, that's the whole Indian of Shabbos, Aliyas Oilamus. All the worlds get uplifted to its pure purpose. We get so close to Hashem. So therefore, when the darkness of the week is so low, the light of Shabbos is so much more powerful. Because if the Shechina is brought down so low and it goes back up, that greatness, as we know, imagine a really dark room, the lights open, you're like, what's going on, right? Because the darker the room, when the lights do open, the curtain does open, the light's so much greater. So therefore, first it's Pinchas, then it's Matas Maseh, and then Shabbos Chazoin is mamish, like everyone can feel that Shabbos. Rav Lochem, Shabbos Beimikabocha says it's very stem, but we say L'chadoidi, Ravlach, you know, it's great. The Sheves, the Shabbosim Be'emek HaBochim, the deepest depths of the valley, which is these weeks, is Ravlach, the Shabbosim, so much greater. And even deeper, we know, Pinchas is the first Shabbos in the 3 weeks, and it's all the Yom Tovim. Rosh Chodesh, the reading of the landing of Rosh Chodesh, every Yom HaShabbos, Shabbos is in here, and then we got all the Shalosh Regalim. Everything is in it. So it's so funny that the first week, the deepest, darkest Galus, Shabbos, we read about the greatest Yom Tovim, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. It's all in it. Surely we spoke, just going to mention again, the Nakuda, and that is because it really is. On Shabbos is a chance where everybody gets to really feel the Kedusha, the Shabbos is so extra hailing. We have to cry out to Hashem, Chaburah. Now in Leil Shishi, I didn't say the story in a long time. The story of the Heilige Ber Maim Chaim, Reb Chaim Chernowitzer, who was able to write the greatest works buried on the Sidurish for Shabbos. His avoid the Thursday night was to cry out to Hashem and his Boydiness and say, Boy Hashem, such a special, unique Shabbos is coming. I beg of you with all my might, with all my heart, with all my soul, Hashem, please allow me to feel the holiness of the Shabbos. Please allow me to taste the sweetness of the Shabbos. Please open up my eyes to be able to see the awesomeness of the Shabbos. Every Thursday I used to cry tears, please, at me ain't no Tam Shabbos, let me be tired, let me feel it, let me be Margish Kedusha Shabbos. How much more so when Hashem is giving us such an awesome opportunity, Rabbi Sai. The Shabbos of the 3 weeks, we're at the first one. We mamish could reach the highest that we could take this moment and we cry at Hashem. I beg of you, I really beg of you, with all my heart and all my soul, for me and for everyone connected to me, my family, my wife, my children, my friends, all of Klal Yisrael. We should really feel the closeness that you have with us this Shabbos, to really feel the Kedusha of Shabbos, and for real, not through foreign garbage, baloney ways, but through the purity of Shabbos. Shabbos is so pure, Shabbos is so real, Shabbos is so emes. Just the air of Shabbos, the breath of Shabbos is so holy and purifying. The person doesn't have to come on people's Shabbos, involved in the worst things for no reason when they lose the whole time Shabbos. We're asking now, when we're entering the Kedusha of Shabbos, to really be able to be toying Kedusha Shabbos, the sweetness of Shabbos, see the light of Shabbos, the air of Shabbos. And therefore, I think we're going to focus tonight on something a little bit unique. You might not see the immediate effect of what I'm about to say, but if you think about it over Shabbos, I guarantee you guys will feel it. And Be'ez Hashem, you'll see the truth of it. So, Chaburah, the beginning of the parsha, everybody knows, is the most awesome story of Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, that he avenged my vengeance among them, right? He took away from the Eibishter Kiviyachol the vengeance that was due upon us, to the sad story of Zimri ben Solu and Kozbi Basur, where inappropriate behavior went on. Nasi, a leader of Klal Yisrael, did some obnoxious behavior. And Pinchas ben Elazar is the only one at that time that remembered the halacha kanoim poigim boy. And he goes and he takes a spear right through the obnoxious action, and he comes out of the tent and everybody sees. You cannot desecrate God's name and God's Torah. So, question, and I'll answer it. Somebody reads this Torah, people, Pinchas is one of those. Pinchas belongs in Meisharim or in Ramat Beis and Bechemesh, he's mamish, right? You're one of them. But if a person would know the greatness and awesomeness, I would have to ask you, did Pinchas do a loving act or a gevuridik act? You know what the answer is? Pinchas acted completely out of chesed. The Midah of Chesed, not the Midah of Gevurah. People that read the story and read the Torah, it seems like this is the Midah of Gevurah at its best work. What do you mean? Standing for the rights. Whoop! Where's that sword? Where's that dagger? Where's that
spear?
Whoops! What a Gevurah. Sweetest friends. Pinchas was the sweetest of the sweet. I always say in other years, if you guys heard it, you hear it again. I said, imagine I asked somebody that reads the Torah portion of the week, draw me a picture of Pinchas. Most people would make this muscular madman, thick mustache, look at his eyes, you're like, wow, I'm on the running the other way. But that's the wrong face, the wrong guy. Pinchas was the most sugary looking Zaidi, even if it wasn't that old. There you can imagine. Imagine the sweetest dude. Imagine Pinchas. How could that be? Well, first let me bring you proof to my point. What was Pinchas rewarded with? He became a Kohen. Meaning, because when his father, Elazar, when his grandfather Aaron was anointed as Kohen, Pinchas was walking around and he wasn't part of the new offspring that came from the anointed, so he wasn't Zoichet. So Hashem says, now I'm going to give you Kohen. Let me ask you, Kahanim, what's their blessing? Thank you so much, Mufar. Hamavarech Asama Yisrael B'Ahava. Kahanim are the greatest lovers. That's how they bless us. They are all about peace. They're all about love. They're the Midah of Chesed. Kahanim Kohen Le'el Elyon. Why does he get Kohen? I would give him Levi. Levi's Gevurah. Do you understand what he did? Look at this. And furthermore, God gives him another present. Covenant of peace. Furthermore, because you acted in Kanois, took a vengeance for Hashem, Ve'echapra b'nei Yisrael, you have caused atonement for the children of Israel. Klal Yisrael was in a huge sakana. A huge sakana. We were about to be wiped off the floor, whatever was left with us at this time. Well, Shalom was like, come on, again? Guys can't behave? Not a drop? Rascals? You know? Come on! That's it! When and how are you ever going to learn your lesson? We were in a huge sakana.
Why, only a certain small portion was making trouble. No,
but you know what? All it takes is that one little bit, and we've already seen too much how everybody just joins with, you know? Everybody's just watching idly, like, oh man, what do we do now? If he would have just been successful, and maybe should have said, nobody remembers the halacha of Kanon Poigamay, that you got to stop the Schil Hashem. So the holy tzaddik Pinchas says, I can't do that to my people. I can't do that to my people. What are we going to do? First of all, I'm in a problem. My Rebbe, Moshe Rabbeinu, is right here. How can I paskin halacha in front of him? Number two, you know how tricky this movie did was? To us, it sounds very simple. Where discusses this at length. Yes, if he didn't mean it l'shem shemayim, if he wasn't 100% tachas hashekine le'lekov, he's considered a roitzeach. He's a murderer. Number one. Number two, if Zimri ben Salu knew how to do some karate, if he was able to somehow turn around as this spear was going on and flip it back the other way and put Pinchas through the spear, he would have been 100% kosher. because there was someone coming after him. He had full right to protect himself.
Even if he would have stopped in the act.
Even in the act, would have turned around and sent the spear flying.
Not just to stop. And he wouldn't have been able to kill him anymore, no? Because you can't get to be in the act.
In the act, exactly. If it would have been a minute too early or a minute too late, exactly. The thing is spoiled. So Pinchas did something with such mysterious nefesh. He had to quickly put into consideration. I see Moshe Rabbeinu is up track. So maybe at this moment, but I remember the halacha. But this is my moment. Now I'm in it for Hashem. Who knows in a minute what's going to happen? Maybe I'll just get angry at him. Now, he makes, without any further ado, this is my minute where I'm mamish, this is the halacha. This is what has to be done. This is what's right. And he puts himself into that sakana. And he mamish. First of all, another sakana. Klal Yisrael, Shevet Shimon was ready to stone him alive. They weren't sure, right? It wasn't so clear what's going on in the picture. This had to be taken, there was a whole investigation that had to be made over here. All of this he put into consideration for the sake, but somebody has to protect my people. Somebody has to protect my people. So I do not consume the children of Israel. His kavana was the Bnei Yisrael. Of course, if one also had to be for the sake of heaven, but at the same time, it was out of pure love for the Eibishter and for you and I. This was a love story, not a hate story. And vengeance is even the wrong thing. This is, I'm putting myself at stake because I'm not thinking about myself, but I'm thinking about my brethren. So, therefore, if I ask you to draw me a picture of Pinchas, please, don't make a spooky picture. You got the wrong guy. It's the picture of the Yid that's willing to fight at the front lines for his nation. The sweetest Yid that cares about his brothers. He said, I'm going to put myself on the front line. I might be mamish, thrown out of Klal Yisrael. I don't even know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I know one thing. If I'm going to be matzliach in taking away the vengeance from God, that he won't have to destroy his people, it means I saved my people. And for me, that's worth everything. Hashem says, I'm looking for such lovers like you. Such lovers. You're somebody that cares so much about my fellow children. You're going to be now chief kohen right there. You're going to be a kohen. You know how to bless because you know how to care. You're going to be zoich. Your children are going to have after you also. Because you're somebody that cares about the continuation of our people. Famous question, why did his children? So he should become a kohen. Because he thought so much deeper. His action was saving the future as well. Save Klal Yisrael. Save not only this Dairis, but save Klal Yisrael, the Dairis. So it's also going to be your children. And it's also that you are the ultimate peacemaker between heaven and earth. You made peace between heaven and earth. The Torah automatically says, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aharon. Why does it say ben Aharon? Just like your granddaddy, Aaron HaKohen, was a peacemaker and a peace lover and a peace pursuer. Oyev Shalom. V'roidev Shalom Mekarven Esabrius. Pinchas was that Mamal Makom. That's what he filled those shoes. That's what he was. Pinchas is the greatest lover, Pinchas. Pinchas is the greatest mercy. Because Pinchas thinks about others. And this is why, my dear friends, Parshas Pinchas starts off this week's 3 weeks. So because then the first thing a person has to know as we enter the 3 weeks is we have to look at ourselves and say, am I following Pinchas? Am I loving my fellow Jew? Ad Mesiras Nefesh? Or do I just care about myself? And many times a person thinks he cares about everybody else, but he really means himself. We have to start mirror imaging Pinchas. Pinchas clearly didn't think about himself. He put his life online. He put his whole existence on it. But it was worth it in order to save Klal Yisrael. And therefore, the continuation of the parsha is so beautiful. Right away, Hashem shows his love. Why does he start counting all the numbers of Klal Yisrael? As we know, Rashi tells us, Mashal Aroya Shenichnasu Ze'evim V'toich Edrei. It's a mashal for when a shepherd was foxes have overtaken, wolves have overtaken his flock. Afterwards, he has to count through his achrayus and through his love to them what's left. So therefore, after Mitzrayim and through the Midbar, there was so much that went wrong, and so many people died and passed away. Right here, after another Magefa, Hashem tells Moshe, let me count my people, let me see, in a symbol of love, because the continuation is how Hashem shows us. This is what makes the most, this is what Hashem cares about the most, loving his children and cherishing his children. So the fact that we're counting the Shvatim is proof that he's so thankful to Pinchas, because let me cherish what I have left. Who would you save? And then, of course, we go to a very important part, and that is, I'm not going to get into the B'nai Tzlofchad, which has to do with this also. But right before that, we have Moshe Rabbeinu giving over the leadership. He knew he's going, he knew that he's not entering Eretz Yisrael. So it's in this week's Parsha that he anoints Kalev ben Yeshua ben Nun as his successor. And what does he say? Oh, 1 second. It is after the story of, the story of the B'nai Tzlofchad. It says like this. V'emer Hashem el Moshe, God says to Moshe, Kach l'chas Yeshua ben Nun, anoint Yeshua ben Nun, ish asher ruach boy. How is it translated in English? 1 second. A man in whom there is spirit, and lean your hand upon him. That means anoint him. What does Rashi say? Elikei, what does it mean? Elikei aruchos lo menem aram lefonav k'banshim godvi lefonacha dati shkolachet v'echad v'em daim mizel v'zeh man alei a manig, appoint upon them a ruler. Soivel kol echad v'echad v'fidaita. Someone that can be soivel, that has patience for each and every individual. Somebody that can go down and see and understand the levels of all different types of people. Later, Isha Sharuach Boy, Shiyuchal Lahalach Keneged Ruche Shekolachet V'echad. He knows how to swing by with all different types of personalities. That's a leader. A leader is somebody that knows how to make and knows how to create and knows how to be able to see the positive and the greatness of each individual. You have one person, guys, one kind of attributes. Midas. Another guy, the total opposite. Every time there's in your shul there's a vote, you always know this guy's always going, rah, chazak, this way, and the other guy's just the softiest, and you're the rabbi in the middle. You have to be able to be good with both of them. The proper rabbi, the proper leader is someone that knows that exactly. Yes, I'm with you. Yes, I'm with you. With you, with you. Love you all. Care for all of you. This is the continuation of Pinchas. Pinchas is somebody that knows how to see deeper, how to be able to appreciate. Even though in this case his action was through vengeance, but for the sake of loving and caring and keeping Klal Yisrael. So therefore, when we get this lesson, when we have this lesson, the lesson of Pinchas, the lesson of Yeshua, that we have to be there for everybody. This was the right thing for Zimri as well. This is his tikkun. When he put him through, there's a lot of Torahs in that. Zimri had his own parsha, whatever he tried doing, with his own intentions, whatever it was. The fact also that a Kiddush Hashem came out through his death might have been an atonement for his Chil Hashem. So everything worked out to the best of everybody. It worked out to the best of Zimri, works out to the best of Klal Yisrael. And therefore the lesson, Chaburah, is for a person to really, really, really start appreciating one another and seeing the greatness of one another. And therefore, just to touch upon one more thing, when a person is zoicha to live in appreciation with all different types of Yidden, then his Shabbosim and his Yom Tovim become golden. And let me explain that. Because what I said earlier might be a little... You know, the whole Baal Shem Tov instituted that on Shabbos, everyone should get together at least till midnight and sing Sheves Achim Gam Yochad. Sheves, sitting brothers together. Sheves is the same wording as Shabbos. Shabbos, you're supposed to sit together with friends and not waste your time, but sing, talk to the Torah. It's also this time. It's a time to be uplifted through Kedusha, Tahara. The only way we could sit together as one, the Sheves Achim Gam Yochad, is when all of us could sit as one. And to appreciate each other, appreciate the Divrei Torah one says, the songs that one sings. And when we focus on that together, when we have this Isha Sheruach Boy, could be Soivel Kolechad Vechad, then we enter Shchoide, Shabbos, Yom Tov, which is all the time. Family time, friends is also part of family Louis, you and I, to sit together. To make it holy, you know what the problem is, and this is a little sharp now, a little kanois, I think this is the parsha of kanois, but I made it out of love. Vengeance, so I could say a little vengeance. And don't shoot back at me, you have to be able to be civil to everybody. Sometimes it's very selfish when people choose that their dveikis of Shabbos is done through out of Kedusha activity, substances of different sources. And the reason I mention it, because what that does, that disconnects from one another. It doesn't connect from one another. Shabbos is a time where one connects. In order to connect, you have to be present, you have to be real. I'll share with you something. Shalom